Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Ariesta Sembiring and my number ID is 2107050778. Here I want to explain about the forensic linguistic. Okay, the first time I want to explain what is a definition of the forensic linguistic. Forensic linguistic is a branch of the linguistic that analyze and examines linguistic aspect as a tool of evidence in the courts and the legal field. And then I want to explain about how the language legal process. How the language legal process is the first one is approaching a forensic text. When as a linguistic we analyze text, we draw on many diverse interpretative tools, methods, and the theory. In approaching a text in the forensic context, the analyst need to consider how it's similar and what is distinguish it from the other text in the other context, and which theories and methods are most appropriate to analyze it. Second process is the language of the law. The words of the law and of the legal status, whether plain or opaque, clearly produce an important textual context for any investigation and for the interaction that take place within it. There is an interdependency between written laws and speech in the legal context that give both spoken and written legal language. It's distinctive features, but it is the work that legal language doesn't that truly characterize it. The third process is the legal genre. Legal genre, their styles and the models of interaction and the social practice, rules and the participant relationship that they produce constitute complex interrelationship between text and the context. Legal genre are the way they are because of the communicated practice that they employ and the function that we serve in the legal and the world context. The fourth process is collecting evidence. Collecting of evidence from in detail calls to interview with the suspects and the witness. We have focused on the sum of the norms of the language in this context and describe usual and common features. And then, the last process is ordered in the court. The competitive and the competing goals of interaction that characterizes talk in the courtroom interaction produce distinctive patterns of the lexis and the structure. Lexical selection creates semantic contrast between processing and the different accounts of the same events, and narrative accounts are juxtaposed through challenging questions that produce inferential meanings. Now I want to explain about the example of the case of forensic linguistics. I choose the case from Indonesia. This case is very popular. Aksena suicide memo in the forensic linguistic perspective. On March 26, 2015, Aksena Ahad-Dori was found floating in the Kenanga Lake, University of Indonesia. Aksena, or Aceh, is a 2013 student majoring in the biology at the University Indonesia, Faculty of Mathematics and the Natural Science. Until examination by Depok Police, Aceh is suspect of the committing suicide due to depression. The police refers to the fact of the story of her disappointment that Aceh told her mother and the memo that was found in the boarding room. Aceh's family and his friends couldn't believe that Aceh had committed suicide until the finally case was taken over by the Criminal Investigation Police and the investigation was handed over to the Polda Metro Jaya. From the result of the case, the conclusion is that Aceh did not commit suicide based on the several facts. One of them was tear in the shoes worn by Aceh's body. The conclusion of the Depok police that Aksena or Aceh commit suicide because of depression can be refuted by linguistic analysis. According to ratings of Al-Mosawi in the conversation, people with depression use language differently. Here's how to spot it. 2018. The content and style of the language used by people suffering from the depression to form a characteristic language of the depression. In terms of the content, people with depression will be express more negative emotion and use more of the first pronouns and the third. However, in the memo found in Aceh boarding rooms, not negative emotion was found and not even a single use pronouns was found. And the text of the memo found in the late Aceh rooms stage will not return. For please don't search for existence, might apologize for everything eternally. In reporting on the text Aksena case, there were a number of scribbles that were seen. McMenamin relieved it in the Forensic Stylistic 2002 that start over or scribbles relate to the errors and the correction can also be used as a macro language style in a play authorship analysis. For the reason, it is necessary to compare our readings from the late Aceh for a more in-depth analysis of the writer scribble in the memo are identified to the other scribble he wrote. And based on news I heard, the writing of the memo is different from the other Aceh writing. And he was provided in English, but in the memo, it seems the writing is very different from the Aceh provided in English. The notion that this case wasn't suicide might be true, based on the available evidence and with the linguistic forensic evidence that was carried out, maybe Aksena was killed by someone, not suicide. And the simple analysis in the case Aksena was written with the aim of introducing forensic linguistics will assist law enforcement in resolving criminal cases whose evidence is language. And I think this is all my explanation about forensic linguistics. If I have a mistakes, I'm sorry, and for your attention, I say thank you and goodbye for now.